The pilots knew something was wrong. They fought the controls for minutes, but the aircraft was slowly becoming uncontrollable. Alaska Airlines Flight 261 was a scheduled passenger flight that crashed into the Pacific Ocean on 31st January 2000, killing all 88 people on board, and it became one of the most significant aviation accidents in modern history because it exposed how maintenance practices, cost pressures, and subtle mechanical wear can defeat even a highly skilled flight crew. The aircraft was a McDonnell Douglas MD-83, flying from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, to Seattle, Washington, with an intermediate stop planned in San Francisco, carrying 83 passengers and 5 crew members. The flight departed Puerto Vallarta normally and climbed north along the California coast. But while cruising at altitude, the crew began experiencing serious problems with the aircraft's pitch control. The MD-80 series uses a horizontal stabilizer trim system driven by a jack screw assembly, which adjusts the stabilizer angle to maintain proper pitch. On Flight 261, the jack screw had been progressively worn down due to inadequate lubrication and inspection, eventually stripping its threads and rendering the stabilizer difficult and then impossible to control. As the failure developed, the pilots reported that the aircraft was becoming increasingly hard to keep level, with the nose tending to pitch downward. The crew worked methodically with air traffic control and company maintenance personnel, attempting various troubleshooting steps, including trying to manually crank the stabilizer trim, which required immense physical effort. During this period, the pilots remained calm and professional, demonstrating exceptional skill as they fought to keep the aircraft controllable. At one point, they managed to temporarily regain partial control by flying the aircraft inverted and using aerodynamic forces to relieve pressure on the stabilizer, an extraordinary maneuver rarely attempted in commercial aviation. Despite their efforts, the underlying mechanical failure continued to worsen. As the stripped jack screw threads finally failed completely, the stabilizer moved to a full nose-down position, overpowering the elevators and making recovery impossible. The aircraft entered a steep dive, rolled inverted, and plunged into the ocean off the coast of California near Point Mugu at high speed. There were no survivors. The investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board determined that the probable cause of the accident was the loss of pitch control due to excessive wear of the stabilizer trim jack screw assembly, which resulted from inadequate maintenance. Investigators found that Alaska Airlines had extended lubrication intervals beyond what was originally recommended, and that inspections designed to detect wear were insufficiently precise to identify the developing failure. These maintenance decisions were influenced by cost-cutting pressures and a corporate culture that prioritized efficiency and on-time performance, though investigators emphasized that the failure was systemic, rather than the result of any single individual's negligence. The accident also raised serious concerns about the MD-80's stabilizer trim system design, which lacked a fail-safe mechanism that could have prevented total loss of control after jack screw failure. As a result of Flight 261, maintenance standards across the industry were tightened, inspection methods were improved, and lubrication intervals for critical flight control components were re-evaluated. The FAA increased oversight of airline maintenance programs, particularly for aging aircraft, and manufacturers reviewed design assumptions about redundancy and wear tolerance. Alaska Airlines undertook major reforms to its safety and maintenance culture, and the professionalism of the Flight 261 crew was widely praised, with many experts noting that their actions likely delayed the crash and prevented it from occurring over land, potentially saving lives on the ground. Alaska Airlines Flight 261 remains a powerful reminder that aviation safety depends not only on pilots and technology, but on the invisible work of maintenance, inspection, and organizational decision-making. It stands as a case study in how small deviations from best practices can accumulate over time into catastrophic failure, and how even the most capable crews can be rendered powerless when critical systems are allowed to degrade beyond their limits.